Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to all of us in this physical space on 58th Street in Minneapolis. Welcome to folks who are Zooming and YouTubing in from across this country and across the world. I'm wondering, is anyone here for the very first time? Rachel Lipkin, did you just raise your hand? Is anyone legitimately here? Oh, welcome. Welcome. My name's Rabbi Joey. Please come say hi after the service if you'd like to learn more about this community. Is anyone here for the first time in a very long time? Is anyone here for Junie's Bar Mitzvah? Welcome you all. We are so excited to be celebrating with you this week. Again, my name is Rabbi Joey. I'm joined up here tonight by...
I'm Jessica. I have, I don't know, an amber necklace, a green sweater, and curly, longish hair and glasses.
And I'm Billy. I'm wearing a purple shirt.
You all, coming into the service, I do not want to mince words. It is bad out there. In months of scary times, this week has felt, at least to me, worse. This week, with its escalation of violence, with Israeli bombs and Hamas retaliation, bringing fear and death, landing particularly on the lives of Palestinians and on Israeli hostages. With democratic institutions and the rule of law in this country feeling further and further away. I could go on, and I will not. I will just say, boy. And so again, as it so often has been in recent times, our question on the cusp of Shabbos is, what do we do? What does it mean to find rest, to recharge, to seek holiness in a world that can feel like it is on fire? I've been thinking this week about a midrash that I initially learned from Shir Tikva's former beloved conversion intern Moshe Weber. The midrash asked the question, why is the seventh day, Shabbos, special? And why do the people of Israel care so much about it? To answer these questions, the rabbis imagined the friendship between each day of the week. Each day, according to the rabbis, has a particular friend. Sunday and Monday are best buds. Tuesday has Wednesday, Thursday has Friday, but what about Saturday? What about Shabbos? Who is Shabbos' beloved friend? The Midrash answers this question that God saw that Shabbos was lonely, that Shabbos wasn't paired up, and saw that the people of Israel were also lonely. So God made a friend shidduch, a friend match. God said to Israel, this day will be holy to you, and said to Saturday, to Shabbos, this people will be holy to you. Like two kids who always feared sitting alone on the bus, Israel and Shabbos found each other, and their lives have never been the same since. It's a little silly, right? But I find it to be so tender. I'd like to suggest that we fall into this Shabbos the way that we would fall into the outstretched arms of a good friend who can hold us in our tears, who can ply a little bit of challah into our lips, who can even make us laugh and sing, who can even make us relax, who can shine a holy light upon us and say, I do not know what the future holds, but for today we have each other. To bring us into this Shabbos, I'd like to invite up Hannah Ruth Schmitz, and if she is here yet, I would like to also invite up Phyllis Kahn to help us light the candles. You can find the bracha on page 2. So good to see you. Can I give you a hand coming up? Phyllis will be up here for about 2 minutes. Do you want a seat or are you good to stand? Okay, come on in, Hannah. Okay, you're going to dip this in the flame and then light both these candles. Go for it. You're doing great. Perfect. Okay, pull this back. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. You all, we have the joy this week of a double bracha. In a moment, I'll bless Phyllis on her 88th birthday. But before that, I get to say just a quick word to you, Hannah. Hannah, welcome to the Jewish people. After a long journey of affirmation, you have passed through the waters of mikvah, and you have arrived. I want to bless you with 2 things. Number 1, may those water of mikvah, may they continue to be with you. And number 2, even as you flow, may you know and find home and steadiness at Shir Tikva in your heart and the Jewish people as a whole. We'll say together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mazal tov. Okay, stay up. We're going to sing to both of you all in a second. Phyllis, I have the total pleasure of blessing you on the occasion of your 88th birthday. What an honor. I want to bless you with a Hebrew word, nachal, whose numeric value adds up to 88. Nachal is a word that is pregnant with meaning. It can mean both to hold tight and let flow, to grasp and to give. Phyllis, as you enter your 88th year, may you hold with pride and wisdom and kindness and community and service all the things that have defined your years on this earth. And even as you hold these things close, may you continue to give of your smarts and kindness, your tenacity and courage in this shaky world, Phyllis. We need you. We need you to know how grateful we are for you. Let's sing. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov. Both so much for bringing us into Shabbos, for sharing your blessings with each other and with this community as a whole. Let's go from blessing to blessing. We're going to open our way up into Kabbalat Shabbat on page 12. We'll turn to page 13. Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Meyom, Yeshuato, Safru v'Goyim, Kevod Amim, Bechol Ha'amim, Niflaota, Ki Gedol Adonai, Ulehol Meod, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Ki Kol Elohim, Hamim Elim, L'Adonai, Shamayim Hasa, Hod V'Hadar, we'll turn forward all the way to page 332.
Nefesh Avarachaman, Yedi Nefesh Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, Eretz Onecha, Meshoch Avdecha, Yadaladai. Avarachaman, Yedi Nefesh Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, Eretz Onecha, Meshoch Avdecha, Yadadadai, Eretz Onecha. Yarutz Avdecha kemo hayal, yishtachaveh yadadadai el mul hadarecha. Yarutz Avdecha kemo hayal, yishtachaveh yadadadai el mul hadarecha.
We untie what is tight with the words of Ana Bakoach. You can find these on your blue sheets. We'll turn to page 20. It's the tradition in our community to open our doors and take our hearts or bodies out to greet Shabbos on the last verse of the song. Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva oren, kumi ori. Uri, uri, shir tameri, kevod Adonai, alayechem na'olech. tila yedadai, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay ay ay, ay 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 likat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay 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 lecha dodi, oh oh oh, ay 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 likat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, v'hayu l'pshisa shosayim, v'rachaku kol ha'malayim, yasizayich Elohayim, kitzos chatan al chatan, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay ay ay, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay ay ay, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, yamin u'smol tifrosi, v'et Adonai taritzi, al yamish ben partzi, v'nismecha enagila, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, boi v'shalom, teret ma'ala, gam besimcha u'betzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay 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 lecha dodi, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, ay ay Good Shabbos. Whew. In a moment, we turn into Mariv, we turn into our evening prayer, and we turn deeper into Junie's Bar Mitzvah weekend as we hear their voice in our prayer service. We'll rise or root on page 28 for Baruch. Ya da da ya 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 Folks can be seated. On page 30, we give thanks to a God that brings light into this world and who also brings darkness. And we enter the season of davening at dusk, davening when there's a little bit more light than darkness coming through our windows. Let's take a second to soak up all the light and all the darkness, all the possibility of change in this world. Taking a big breath in and out. Umavir yom umehevi laila, umavdil ben yom ben laila, Adonai tzivaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamidim lo chalenu, leolam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Varavim. On page 32, we give thanks to a God that brings love into this world. I invite you to send love into your own heart, into some part of you, some memory, some fear, some hurt that is just needing some light and love and joy. Taking a big breath in and out. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvehem nege yomaham v'layla v'havtecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We'll rise in body or root on page 34. Shema You may be seated. Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'divartam ham v'shitecha v'betecha v'v'lechtecha b'derech v'v'shachvecha v'v'kumecha v'v'shartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem. We'll turn to page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות, אוסף מלך, נורא תהילות, אוסף מלך. יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי לי, יאי לי לי, יאי לי לי. מלכותך ראו בניך, מוקיע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. 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 איי 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 איי
We'll turn to page 42. And we sing for peace, which just feels so hard and so distant in this moment. I take some strength from Parshat Pinchas, where God gives us a covenant of peace, but the little vav in the word shalom and the covenant of shalom, it's broken. We sing for a peace out of a place of total brokenness. At least I do tonight. And my challenge as we pour these words forth is to see how does it feel to sing through that crack, to sing through the hole, and to find our way. We'll sing together.
Okay, and so after the second line, we jump all the way down to Ushmor Tetzenu in this version.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, העמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, העמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We rise and rooting and rising towards Shabbos on page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll rise or root as we make our way into silent prayer, singing together on the top of page 46.
עושה שלום במרומה
We have a chance to bless those in need of healing in our lives and in our community and to pray for their well-being. I'm going to take a quick second to look around the room as my eyes and hand pass you. Feel free to say the name or names of anyone on your heart, and then we'll sing together number 2 at the bottom of your colorful sheet. Tonight, we're praying for. My worst nightmare, I didn't put a bookmark where the Devar Torah begins. So if this ends up being for, last week or next year, my apologies. I want to share some Torah tonight that I think sits at the very intersection between two pressing questions. Number one, how do we fundamentally relate to other Jews, particularly those we disagree with? And number two, how do we collectively find the last chocolate chip that fell in the crevice between two car seats? This question arises from two sources. Source number one is the first word of our Torah portion. God commands Moshe to vayakel, the Jewish people. The word, it literally means to gather, but it has a more specific resonance, to not only gather, but to form community. So we might translate the first words of our parsha as, God commanded Moshe to community-ify the Jewish people. Much of the rest of the parsha relates to instructions on how to build the tabernacle, how to embody and bring together our holy sanctuary. Commenting on these first words, the Sfat Emet writes that the Jewish people needed to kahal. They needed to become a community before they could make safe and sacred space together. More generally, the Sfat Emet writes that we elevate each other. We are made more holy by way of this type of unity. Which leads to the question, how the heck do we do that? How do we take a divided, a famously scruffy and argumentative tribe/faith group and make us into a cohesive community? It's hard, right? The Parsha does not really tell us, but I found a source in the Halacha, the laws of preparing for Pesach, that I think might have something to offer. Rabbi Ariel spoke last week about the tradition of studying the laws of Pesach every day between Purim and Passover. And the two of us have been doing that learning together. The law that we're scheduled to learn tomorrow asks the question, if two Jews live next to each other, who's responsible for cleaning out a hole in the wall between their two houses of chametz, of leavened bread product? I'd like to read this law, which comes out of the 12th century Mishnah Torah, a compendium of Jewish law, together, and think about what this law teaches us about cooperation between Jews. I'm wondering if I could ask for a volunteer to read the halacha that you'll find in the little white slips in most of your sidurim. If you don't have one, no worries, it's just a few lines and you'll be able to listen. Could I ask for a volunteer who would be willing to read and be interrupted annoyingly by me? Thank you, Julie.
Only because you said you'd be interrupting annoyingly. A hole in the middle of the wall of the house between a Jew and their Jewish neighbor.
Okay, so thank you, Julie, for allowing me to interrupt you. The setup here seems to be that we have two neighbors living side by side, let's say. Two neighbors who are living side by side, and there's a wall between their homes. But in the ancient Near East, or wherever we're thinking about in this story, in this halacha, the walls are kind of thick. And neighbors would maintain these like kind of little crawl spacey things that they could use for storage between their two homes. So it's not just like some of the apartments that I've lived in where it's like I move in and, oh, why is there a hole in that wall? This is an intentional thing and kind of a cooperative space between two neighbors.
2, both neighbors should search the hole for chametz.
Okay, so good. Good so far. We're about to get details on what that would look like.
This one will search until the place as far as their hand can reach. This one will search until the place as far as their hand can reach.
Beautiful. Thank you for volunteers up front for helping with this. Jessica, let's see if we can demonstrate this together. So I'll be the first one. I'm going to search in my hole as far as my hand can reach. And then you'll search as far as your hand can reach. Beautiful.
Afterward, each must nullify in their heart any chametz in the remaining portion.
Thanks for regendering that. I should have done that. What do we think that last bit means? So we both reached into the chametz box, the chametz wall. We found what we could. Maybe there's a center of it, or maybe there's a corner we couldn't quite get to. There's a little bit of bread left there. What are we supposed to do with that last little bit of chametz? We're supposed to nullify it in our hearts. Anyone have a sense of what that means? Pretend that it's not there. Don't worry about it. Any other thoughts? Yeah.
To me, it means to do your best to get rid of all the bread and trust that your neighbor will do their best too. And if you've both done your best to get rid of it, then you can say that anything left over doesn't really count.
Love that.
Echoed.
Okay, so here's the wider question. What the heck do we learn from this? This hyper-specific, I guess I'll continue carrying it around. What the heck do we learn from this? What might this text teach us about cooperation between Jews? If I could ask for folks to raise hands and also people on chat to add things in, I'll do a little bit of running around.
No, I just think you need to trust each other.
I'm sorry for asking the 40-year-long teacher to please raise your hand. Yeah.
So my first thought when I was hearing this, the idea that there's remaining after both people have gathered everything they can reach, is who is storing chametz that nobody can reach. So I guess there is a level of trust of because logically your brain might go, well, if I can't reach this, obviously they put it there because I couldn't reach it. So this is saying that instead of just kind of blaming them for that, you kind of just let it go and trust that they are also doing their best.
I love that. Sorry to make you move.
Your hand may be shorter or longer than your neighbor, and whatever is in between, don't be jealous about what's left, and also don't feel bad that your neighbor may have a longer arm.
Yeah, this is a good mitzvah for me as someone who has kind of extremely long arms. This is made for me. Any other thoughts? I'll hear 2 more in person, and then we'll read a few in the chat.
I was going to say send the dog in.
Well, I think that it's a good thing to have the neighbor that can see the hummus that you can't see, and you can see some of the hummus they can't see, so you help each other out.
I love that. That's beautiful. Oh, I have one more hand raised. Another opinion is just shove a cat in there, which I think is brilliant. A few opinions in the chat. More votes for letting a cat get it. Wendy wrote, "You have the same goal. Trust that you're both making your best efforts." Vilda wrote, "And if so, why make the person with the shorter arm get down on the ground and scrabble for bread?" Jules wrote, "This feels related to biblical gleaning stuff, but I can't quite make the connection. I want to think more about that." Paul wrote, "The quote ascribed to Voltaire, but is older than him, 'The perfect is the enemy of the good.'" Okay, I have something that I'd like to reveal. I did not bring us together to discuss how best to get the last chocolate out of the crevice between car seats. Nor do I particularly even care to discern the best method for removing chametz, breadcrumbs, from the wall. Instead, I found this Torah to be powerful, instructive, and challenging because honestly, I am having a hard time with other Jews. We are commanded in this parsha to be one community, and I am struggling, particularly this week, with what that means. I'm pained by Palestinian students and Lebanese physicians being deported in the name of protecting Jewish safety. I do not believe that these extrajudicial actions will make us safer, and I'm struggling as much as ever with people in the Jewish world who are supportive of the administration's actions. Given this, I'm wondering what it might mean to reach into the hole between the space between me and a Jew who I disagree with. What might it mean for me to feel out and hold on to the chametz of hurt and pain and vulnerability in that person's heart? What might it mean to similarly allow my heart to be held? As much as any week, as much as any Torah I have taught from the spot, I am not sure about this. I'm not sure how we go forward or if unity in community is an appropriate place to seek when the stakes are so high and the conditions so deeply bad. And yet I am compelled by that flickering image of two hands reaching out, not meeting, but seeking. The possibility of us finding each other in our collective healing. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue with our blessing for community. Zoom friends, please queue up your blessings in the chat. You can find our blessing for community on the back of your colorful bluish sheets. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, Yevarech et hanearim, vayikra vehem shemi, Vishem avotai, Vishem avotai, Avraham v'yitzchak, v'yigdu larov, v'yigdu larov, b'kerev haaretz. Yismechem Elohim kesara kerivka kerachel uchelea ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha ve'yikuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha. Shalom. Yadadai, ay, 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 ay. Yadadai, ay, 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 yo. Yadadai, ay, ay, yadai, ay, yadai, ay. May we want to try and fill in the gaps between us. May we continue to reach towards those who we struggle with. May we reach for each other as far as our arms can reach, unashamed of the shortness of our arms or the pain in our hands. May we reach into the thick wall of fear and injustice, find each other, and do a secret handshake. May we be met with someone reaching back when we reach for understanding. May we be at least able to reach for peace. May we all find ways to let go of the things none of us can reach. May we work together to rid the chametz from the world. May we have the courage to reach out into the unknown and hidden. May we reach out even if we fear no one will reach us. May we not blame ourselves for not being able to reach everything. May we have the courage to reach into the void between political ideologies because fellow people are not our enemies. May we do our best to clean up what's in front of us and what we can reach. May we trust that we are each stretching as far as we can. May we love more, move more, and find more community. May we reach instead of assuming we know how long our arms are. Ken yehi ratzo, yadadai, yadadai, We'll put our seal on our service in a moment. I just want to give a quick call out to our 5th and 6th grade families who are joining us tonight and making this such a full and vibrant space. To our 6th graders who are brave enough to sleep over in this building. Ooh, 2nd through 5th are here. My apologies. 6th graders will be sleeping over in the building, and a particularly koach to Forrest, who might not be doing a huge amount of sleeping tonight. We'll put a seal on our service as we turn to page 284, Rising or Rooting.
Hashevota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Vota v'hashevota elevavecha Ki Adonai Hi Elohim Hu Elohim V'nehema V'haya Adonai L'melech
Folks can be seated. In a moment, we'll say the words of Mourner's Kaddish. It's been the tradition in our community for the last year and a half to sing the words of Oseh Shalom again, which are prized words singing for peace. I find this moment in the service and this new tradition to be vital and so painful, particularly tonight. We say these words out of a knowledge that we can't say in the names of all of the Palestinians and Israelis who have died and who have been displaced as a result of this war, as a result of the continuing rampage that is happening over Gaza. And it continues today. The ceasefire seems to be over. I don't know how we metabolize that as a community. I don't know how we metabolize that as individuals. And I do know that while it's been painful, it has felt vital for me to sing these words with you all over the course of the last year and a half. Let's sing them together, as it has been the case since day one. Let's not have this be enough. Let's have these words continue to move us towards action, towards demanding ceasefire. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. I'll read a list of names of folks who have died in our community over the course of the last 30 days. And on this time in previous years. If you hear the name of someone you knew and loved, please feel free, no pressure, but feel free to raise your hand. We'd love to hear just a sentence or two of story about that person. We're in the Shaloshim, the first 30 days since the death of Diane Neiman, longtime administrator for Shir Tikva. Micah Garber, father of Ron Garber, father-in-law of June Chang, and grandfather of Ilan and Yasmin Garber. Frances Weinstein, mother of Miriam, grandmother of Rhea. Lawrence Harvey Loeb, Liz's father. Andrew Silberman, beloved member of Shir Tikva, husband of Vicky. Just a quick story that I heard at Andy's funeral on Tuesday. A friend of his from the JCC told me that before Andy died, he lent him an atlas of American delis, annotated with his reviews. And Andy's friend was so sweet. He said, I really value this, and I can't give it back to Andy, and I feel like I just need to tour these delis now. We're in the yard site, the anniversary of the death of Marvin Antovsky, Janice Kepner's uncle. Brian Berkowitz, Sheldon Berkowitz's cousin. Marianne Burrell, Lisa Mayr's mother. Mary Doyle, Christina Rothstein's grandmother. Lynn Esteen, Jenny Teichman's mother. Zetta Fetter, Wendy Henry's mother. Michael Fisher, Beanie Fisher's husband and Joni Fisher's brother. Ethel Gershon and Rose Glassman, Steve Gershon's grandmothers. Frances Jaffe, Sharon's mother. Valerie Klein, Deborah Klein's mother. Morris Lefsitz, Wendy Morris's father. Eva Levy, Stephen Levy's grandmother. Harvey Lippa, Jenny Saxton's father. Michael Matz, Andrea Rubenstein's nephew. David Rem, Eric's father. Donald Roque, Dexter.
So after 33 yurt sites, it's hard to come up with any new stories, so I won't. But what I can tell you about my dad is that in these craziest times, he would keep us all calm. He'd remind us that we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it in a good way. He'd also be very honored to know that, as I am as well, that his 3 grandkids come every year to honor him.
Donald Roque, Dexter Heinen. Oh, I'm so sorry.
My great-grandpa was born in 1920, which means people have been talking about him for over 100 years, and I think that's pretty neat. He meant a lot to me, and every time we had a family gathering, he would always say, "I will bring the bread," and he would just bring bread. And so every time we have a family gathering, to this day, people will be like, "I just wish he was around to bring some bread."
Very on brand for the Torah tonight. Esther Rosen, Jerry Rosen's mother. Robert Schulman, Barbara Schulman's father. Esther Sheffer, Eric Brooks' grandmother. Harry Tannick, Sharon Kolster's father. Carrie Weiss, Faith Weiss's brother. Rose Wiener, Barbara E. and Phyllis Wiener's grandmother. Is there anyone else that would like to bring a name?
Are we just saying them?
Today is the 6th anniversary of the death of my first wife, Kathy Oliver. So.
My aunt Marilyn Grenke died in the last week. I don't remember a ton about her from growing up around her, but she had a very welcoming, very impeccable Minnesota home and a big smile.
My grandmother, Connie Davidson, passed away 20 years ago, and I was very close with her. She was my only grandmother that I grew up with, and my brother and I were her only grandkids, and so she loved us very much and would be, it's kind of wild that I've lived my whole adult life without her. But yeah, just think about her. She was an excellent hostess and loved hosting for all the holidays and everything, so I always think about her at holidays and Passover.
I have one. My cousin Alana Hoffer died of cancer about 2 weeks ago. She was 55, and I didn't know her too well, but she was so sweet. She always stayed in touch, even though we didn't know each other very well. And she came here and spent a full day with my mom, who's 98, about a year ago, just to get to know her and tell family stories. She flew in from Cleveland, and we spent the day and had bagels and lox, and then she went back. And she has an adult child with autism, and she realized in Cleveland there weren't a lot of good resources for families, and she started a nonprofit that connected families with resources, families who had kids with autism. So she was pretty cool.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
It's 1 year and 1 week of my great aunt Lois Flarsheim's passing, who I remember as a loving family member and painter.
You can find the words for Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. I invite folks to rise or root, page 294.
Yitgadal v'yikadash Divrach chirute v'amlich malchute Bechai echon uvyom echon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kari v'yamru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivarach le'alam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shenei dekutsha berechu Ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru. Oseh shalom imramav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yamru.
Amen. Folks can be seated.
Hi, my name is Julie Jacobs. Shabbat Shalom and happy spring. Today's the first day of spring. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's such a joy to be together. At the end of services, please return the prayer books to the usher table and separate the sheets, the blue sheets from the white sheets and from the Siddur. Mazel Tov to Junie on becoming Bar Mitzvah, and on Phyllis Kahn for your 88th birthday. Happy birthday. That's huge. Thank you to all of those who made tonight possible, Rabbi Joey, Billy Perkis, and Jessica Cohen, Gordon, and the Macomb Minion, me, and Lori Sweet. Thank you to our Shomrim, Rondi, and security for your steady presence. And thank you to Phyllis Kahn in honor of her birthday, and the Sweet and Elliot Katz families in honor of Junie becoming Bar Mitzvah for hosting the Oneg tonight. Find all of our Shir Tikva programming updates in our weekly e-news and on our website. Interested in what membership means at Shir Tikva? Please chat with Emma Stout or me after services. Next week's Shabbat service will be a mask recommended service. If this isn't a best fit for you, please join us on Zoom. A reminder that your community is here to support you, so please reach out to your rabbis if you encounter a life change so they can activate the Shir Tikva network of support. One other announcement is that on April 1st, all of the lost and found that's on a shelf downstairs underneath the stairs will be donated. So please check and see if anything of yours is there. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Julie. 3 other quick programmatic announcements. On Sunday, right here in Shir Tikva, we are having a Bikor Cholim training, a training for learning how to upping our skills of visiting folks who are ill or otherwise isolated. If you are at all interested, if you're a member of Shir Tikva, please, please, please consider coming. Number 2, I'm teaching a class starting this Wednesday on strange, beautiful innovations historically in the Passover Seder. If you're looking to spice up your own Seder, if you're a history nerd, please consider joining. It'll be a lunch and learn class on Zoom. Number 3, as stated throughout the service, the world is a hard place right now. I really recommend reading Rabbi Ariel's beautiful Shabbat message, not only for the Torah that she gave this week, but also for the variety of opportunities that she laid out in that message. There's vital work to be done in this world, and Ariel did a wonderful job in compiling some of those. With no further ado, I would like to invite up Solomon and Junie for the ritual passing of the Kiddush cup. And you guys can come up too. Junie. Sally, if you want to come up here. Right here is perfect. I'll hold the microphone for you. Junie, if you want to come over here.
Juniper, you've made it this far and there's so much more to go. I'm really proud of you. You have been such a rock star. It is great to have you in class. Here's your Kiddush cup.
Junie, I would like to both agree and disagree with Sally. You have come a very far way. You both have a lot more to go and not that much more to go. We're going to sing the words of Kiddush together and bless our wine with the help of Junie and the Sinakon family. You can find the words for this blessing on page 5. Junie, I am so excited to be up here with you again very shortly. Just huge mazal tov to all of you all. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon yihilanu v'zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tefila lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. You can take your mask down. Okay, guys. 3, 2, 1. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
Mazal tov, guys. We'll end in song and then an opportunity to schmooze over Oneg.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks for the gorgeous music.
I feel like we get a lot of help.
Oh, actually, so much help. Oh my God, so much help. Yeah. Amazing. Oh, they did right. That's right. And the people who wanted to stay stayed. And yeah, yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, you too. That was a wonderful sermon. That was like really great.
Thank you so much. I feel like I can, struggle on two ends. The moments where I've like lost myself in davening as rabbi here, and I think that'll be a thing.
Sometimes did you bring us to the point of I take the one I don't like. I can. I don't know if it's like this. But I can see because it was wonderful and relevant. And it's so hard to reach out and it's true. And you're identifying major challenges of reaching out to each other as humans. It's really